What's good, YouTube? I'm back with another video. My name is Muga the Intunga, and I want to just read the Bible with you guys. I hope you guys have time to listen to me and listen to what the Bible. Let me just get comfortable. Gotta get comfortable, right? So, am I comfortable here? This not. But yeah, I'm actually reading from the book of Job, right? And he's saying a lot, so I just want you guys to take time and listen with me, and because I'm gonna be reading it. I was actually reading it by myself, so I just figured let me just make a video, right? So this is what Job was upset about. Elihu is upset with Job's friend. This is the youngest brother who was upset. So finally, this from the Bible, Job 31st. I hope you guys can find it. So I'm going to be reading here. So yeah, but yeah, it says finally these three men stopped arguing with Job because he refused to admit that he was guilty. Elihu from Boz was there, and he had become upset with Job for blaming God instead of himself. He was also angry with Job's three friends for not being able to prove that Job was wrong. Elihu was younger than these three, and he let them speak, but he became irritated when they could not answer Job, and he said to them, I am much younger than you, so I have shown respect by keeping silence. I once believed age was a source of wisdom. Now I truly realize wisdom comes from God. Age is no guarantee of wisdom and understanding. That's why I asked you to listen to me. I earlier listened to each of your argument, but not one of you proved Job to be wrong. You shouldn't say we know the right. You shouldn't say we know what's right. Let God punish him. Job hasn't spoke against me. Job hasn't spoke against me, and so I won't answer him with your argument. All of you are shocked. You don't know what to say, but I am to remain silent just because you have stopped speaking. No, I will give my option because I have so much to say that I can't keep quiet. All right, let's keep going. Where was I? Sorry. Okay, can't keep quiet. I am like a swollen winskin. I'm like a swollen winskin, and I will burst. I don't know what that means. I have no clue. If I don't speak, I don't know how to be unfair or to flatter anyone. If I did, my Creator will quickly destroy me. Job, listen to me. Job, listen to me. Pay close attention. Everything I will say is true and sincere. Just as surely as the Spirit of God all powerful gave me for breath of life, none line up your argument and prepare to face me. We each were made from clay, and God has no favors. So don't be afraid of me or what I might do. I have heard your argument. I have heard you argue that you are innocent, guilty. You are innocent, guilty of nothing. You claim that God has made you his enemy. You claim that God has made you his enemy. That he has bound your feet and broke your path. But Job, you are wrong. God is greater than any human. So why do you challenge God to answer you? God speaks in different ways, and we don't always recognize his voice. Sometimes in the night, he uses terrified dreams to give us warnings. God does this to make us turn from sin and pride. God does this to make us turn from sin and pride, and to protect us from being swept away to the world of the dead. Sometimes we are punished with a serious illness and aching joints. Merely the thoughts of our favorite food makes our stomachs sick, and we become so skinny that our bones stick out. We fear death and the grave. We fear death and the grave taking us in the grip. One of a thousands angels then came to our rescue by saying, "We are innocent." The angel shows kindness, commanding death to release us because the price was paid. Our health is restored, we feel young again, and we ask God to accept us. When we joyful worship God, and we are rewarded because we are innocent. When that happens, we tell everyone, "I sinned and did wrong, but God forgave us, or forgave me. But God forgave me. Rescue me and rescue me from death. Now I will see the light." God gives each of us chance after chance to be saved from death and brought into the light that gives life. So Job, pay attention and don't argue. Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt, though I will gladly listen to anything you say that proves you are right. Otherwise, listen in silence and listen in silence to my wisdom. Elihu said, you men think you are wise, but just listen to me. Think about my words as you would test food. Then we can decide the case and give a just verdict. Job claims he is innocent, and God is guilty of mistreating him. Job also argues that God considers him a liar and that he is suffering severely in spite of his innocence. But to tell the truth, Job is shameless. He spends his time with sinners. He spends his time with sinners because he has said it doesn't pay to please God. If any of you are smart, you will listen and learn that God all-powerful does what is right. God always treats everyone the way they deserve, and he is never afraid. From the very beginning, God has been in control of all the world. We humans have died and returned to the soil. So be smart and listen. The mighty God is the one who brings about justice, and you are condemning him. Indeed, God is the one who condemns unfair rulers. And God created us. He has no favors, whether rich or poor. Even powerful rulers die in the darkness of night, when they least expect it, just like the rest of us. God watches everything we do. No evil person can hide in the deepest darkness. And so, God doesn't need to set a time for judgment without asking for advice. God removes mighty leaders and puts others in their place. He knows what they are like, and he whips them out in the middle of the night. And while others look on, he punishes them because they were evil and refused to obey him. The person who mistreated the person they mistreated had prayed for him until God answered their prayers. When God does nothing, can any person or nations find fault with him? But still, he punishes rulers who abuse their people. Job, you should tell God that you are guilty and promise to do better. Then ask him to point out what you did wrong so you won't do it again. Guys, you should always do the same thing. If you feel like something is happening in your life and you feel like God is doing this and that, and you feel like it's God is doing this to you, whatever, and you just have that feeling or whatever, or God is putting you into a test, always ask God. Because in Job 33:24, chapter 34, page 32, it says, then ask him to point out what you did wrong so you won't do it again. We continue. Do you make the rules? Do you make the rules, or does God? You have to decide. I can't do it for you. Now make up your mind, Job. Anyone with good sense can easily see that you are speaking nonsense and lack good judgment. So I pray for you to suffer as much as possible for talking like a sinner. Wow. Talking like a sinner. Job was talking like a sinner, blaming God. What? Yo, we have to really be careful to what we say or how we talk to God or how we speak, how we talk. You have to really be careful, man. Alright? You have rebelled against God. You have rebelled against God. Alright? Time after time, and have even insulted us. This guy, his name is Elihu. Now we continue. Elihu continues. Elihu said, Job, are you really innocent in the sight of God? Won't you honestly believe it pays to obey? Don't you honestly believe it pays to obey him? I will give the answer to you and your friends. Look up to the heavens and think. Do your sins hurt God? Is any good you may have done at all helpful to him? The evil or good you do only affects other humans. The evil or good you do only affects other humans. In times of trouble, everyone begs the mighty God. That's true. In times of trouble, everyone begs the mighty God. You might be in a prison and you feel like you're gonna beg God. You're gonna beg God no matter what. In times of trouble, everyone begs the mighty God to have mercy. But after the Creator helps them through hard times, they forget about him. Imagine. You ask God to help you, but you end up forgetting about God. That's crazy, guys. You guys shouldn't do that. That's wrong. I think my phone is about to sleep and I don't want that. But once the time, yeah, it's just, I have a time on, so it's gonna, and the video ends. So, but we continue. They forget about God. Come on, God. You got it. But after the Creator helps them through hard times, they forget about. All right, guys. I'm gonna add this video to another video I just did by Job. So we continue because like I told you, my phone just disappeared. The time I had on it just ends, so my video ends too. But I was reading where it says, but after the Creator helps them through hard times, they forget about him. Though he makes us wiser, though he makes us wiser than animals or birds, God won't listen to the prayers of proud and evil people. If God all powerful refuse to answer the empty prayers, he will surely deny your impatient request. He will surely deny your impatient request to face him in court. Job, you were wrong to say God doesn't punish sinners. Everything you have said adds up to nonsense. Elihu continues. Elihu, Elihu said, "Be patient a while longer. I have something else to say in God's defense. God always does right, and his knowledge comes straight from God." Wait, what? God always does right, and his knowledge. And oh, wait. Oh, my fault, guys. I read it wrong, and I think I'm getting confused. So, God be with me, so I won't get confused. So let me just reread that. It says, "God always does right, and this knowledge comes straight from God. You have rest assured, yeah, that what I said is true. Although God is mighty, he cares about everyone and makes for decisions. The wicked are cut down, and those who are wrong receives justice. God watches over good people and places them in positions of power and honor forever. But when people are in prison and suffering and pain, God points out their sins. They sin. God points out their sin and their pride their pride. Then he wants them to turn back to him, and if they obey, they will be successful and happy from then on. But if they foolishly refuse, they will be rewarded. But if they foolishly refuse, they will be rewarded with a violent death. What? They will be rewarded with a violent death. Godless people are godless people are too angry to ask God for help. Godless people are too angry to ask God for help when he punishes them. Godless people, you talking about like people who, what? I don't know. What is godless people? Like, what is like godly people or like godless people? So I'm learning just like you guys. I'm actually learning like you guys, man. I'm just trying to understand what I'm reading. So they die young in shameful disgrace, hard times and trouble. Are God's way or getting our attention? Hard times and troubles are God's way of getting our attention. So hard times and troubles are God's way of getting our attention. Hard times and troubles. So you're going into a hard time in your life, and a lot of things is happening in your life, like you don't know what's going on. Meaning that God is trying to get your attention. That's crazy. And at this very moment, God deeply desires to lead you from trouble and to spend your table with your favorite food. Now that the judgment for your sins has fallen upon you, don't let your anger and the pain you endured make you sneer at God. Your resurrection your reputation and riches cannot protect you from disgrace. None can you find safety in the dark world below. Be on guard. Don't turn to evil as a way of escape. God's people God's I'm getting confused again. God's power is unlimited. He needs no teachers to guide or collect him. Others have praised God for what he has done. So join with them from down here on earth. Everyone has looked up and seen how great God is. God is more than we imagine. No one can count the years he has lived. God gathers monster into the clouds and supplies us with rain. Who can understand how God scatters